Hi there, this is Anna Prosser for Kingston HyperX here at MLG Providence 2011, the National Championship. Standing here with Geoff Robinson in control. How are you doing tonight, Geoff?
Good.
How did this tournament go for you? Can you give us a summary of some of your notable matches and opponents?
Only played a few matches. Didn't go very well for me. I beat a guy who's never been to a tournament before, then Vile Sync, and I had a good series with Vile State, but I unfortunately lost 1-2. And then the next day, Strife Crow finished me off 1-2.
And what were those games like, those two that were kind of the most important?
The 3 games that I lost to Strife Crow?
That and your opponent before, Vile State.
I played well against State. I had him on the ropes a couple times, some 4 gates that I thought I was going to beat him with, but he ended up pushing off, and then I guess just the gas advantage was more than enough for him to win the series. And then against Strife Crow, my head was not there. It wasn't where it needed to be, so I wasn't playing very well.
So what accounts for that? I know that you've mentioned before that you are something of a psychological player and that a lot of what matters is getting your head in the game, getting it right. So where was your head this tournament, and in the future, what are you going to do about that?
If I had those answers, I wouldn't be talking to you about trying to find the answers, so I don't know. Thought I was calm, thought I was ready to go, and I wasn't. Just keep working.
Looking back, this is the end of the MLG season, and looking back at maybe let's even say the national championship last year, can you comment on the growth, the changes, maybe your observations about this as opposed to that?
I mean, the differences are huge. We used to have hundreds of people in the audience in 2010, which was awesome. Not to belittle that, but now we have thousands. You know, there's literally no standing room in a lot of places. So the growth's been phenomenal. Obviously, the scale is much different. I think MLG Dallas 2010 was like a $10,000 or $15,000 prize pool, whereas now it's 120. So obviously the growth is exponential. Just the coverage, you know, we talked the ESPN, MTV, the Huffington Post was here, a lot of papers, that kind of stuff. So it's all going in the right direction.
That is pretty exciting to have some big names like that in esports and attention like that. Do you think that we're going to see esports become more mainstream within the next year, or do you think that's still years out?
Well, I think it's always becoming more mainstream. It's moving in that direction. Whether or not it'll replace baseball or something like that, I don't think so. But would love to see it crack into the mainline media. So maybe ESPN2 or something like that. Newspapers covering local players, that kind of thing.
Well, for you, you're going to be taking a little bit of a break for the holidays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's next for you? What are your goals? What are you going to move into for this next tournament season as well as calendar year as an Evil Genius member?
I'm going to take a break and just reset. So I'm not going to worry myself right now with planning for the next year, because I don't think I should do that, because I think then that'll ruin the vacation that I'll be taking and adding stress to something that I've already been struggling with. So I'm just going to wait off on those kind of questions.
What are you looking forward to during this break?
Relaxing, spending time with family, friends, playing some other games, just getting my head cleared, and then making sure I'm prepared for 2012.
So what do you do in those leisure time? You mentioned some video games, you mentioned your friends and family. What particular games do you like to play for the fans who might be interested?
Well, I don't play too many games at all during the season, so what I've been waiting to play is Dead Space 2, Skyrim, Modern Warfare 3. I got the new Batman. I haven't even opened these games up yet, so you know, there are games that people have played and beat for months now, and I just haven't had an opportunity. So I'm looking forward to stepping away from 10 hours of training and venting with some other games.
And are you going to continue to do your other things, your podcast, your casting, some of the other activities you do besides practicing during this break?
I believe so. I think Stay the Game will go on a break. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if that's the same for Inside the Game or not, but you know, if they're there, I'll be there. And then coaching, I'll always be coaching. So just doing those things as usual. And it's not like I'm not going to play StarCraft. It's not like you could make me stop. I'm just not going to feel guilty if I play a Skyrim binge for 5 or 6 hours, you know. Whereas if I were to do that now, I would feel like I had snuck, you know, cocaine in the bedroom or something like that. So that's how it is.
So you will be streaming. People can still follow your adventures and check out the training that you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that fans can do to support you? Any particular things you'd like them to focus on? You know, take your soapbox moment, if you will?
No, my fans are amazing. I mean, a lot of people, for whatever reason, every time people talk to me, they go, you know, what do you think about the haters and stuff? And I think people give it too much credit. I have a lot of fans, and every day is extremely positive for me. So a few threads on Reddit and maybe a couple of comments on Team Liquid do make it look a lot worse than it is, but it's not. I get 30, 40 emails every day about people talking about how important I am to them, and I could go on, but it would sound really conceited, so I'm not going to. It's just I live a very charmed life, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with the great fans that I already have.
You are one of the most recognizable faces in foreign StarCraft, arguably. If you were to point to some of the other players that you think deserve more attention, maybe more credit, or people that you wish your fans would check out, could you tell us who those people are and maybe give us some reasons why we should pay attention to them?
Well, I think Axelav has one of the most informative streams, bar none, Zerg, Protoss, or Terran. So a lot more people should be checking that out. He's been hovering around pretty good numbers, 1,000 or 1,500, but with the kind of information he spills out constantly, it should be more like 5,000, 6,000 people, if you ask me. So more people should check out Axelav. But then a lot of the up-and-coming players, can't really think of any right now, but just kind of be looking for some of that talent. But the players that get the credit kind of deserve it. Some of the Koreans don't get the credit they deserve because they don't speak English, so I think a lot of players like Hero doesn't get as much attention as he deserves. His stream always has like 2,000 to 3,000 people, but again, I think he's one of the best, most influential Protoss players there are, so it should be 10,000 as far as I'm concerned. Your
team has been going through some really exciting changes this year. Big things have happened since the last national championship. Can you give us some insight into where you think Evil Geniuses is going in the future, or even how you feel about those changes it has been undergoing?
Evil Geniuses, I mean, they've become also kind of a media outlet for a lot of people. A lot of the shows people are talking about, but also just the production that they're doing. So in 2012, just look for more Evil Geniuses. A Barcraft Montreal was sponsored by EG. The One More Game TV shows are doing really, really well. So just more of the same, but I'm not really the guy to ask. I don't know. They do a lot of that behind closed doors, so I'm just expecting amazing stuff out of them, and they usually deliver. And you usually deliver some good media content. You're kind of known as a bit of a comedian in the community. Would you say that's an apt description of you? I definitely I throw a lot of jokes out there, and some are funny, some aren't. So I like to have a good time. I know a lot of these players, so I'm able to poke fun at stuff that not a lot of people know, and I think that gives me kind of a privileged perspective where I can bring to light stuff people want to hear, but also put it in a funny way, so it kind of makes some good jokes for people, I guess. A lot of people liked seeing you sitting next to JP on the stream at MLG Providence this time. Would you say that you see casting in your future? I mean, years and years down the road, even if you end up giving up your pro playing or you retire from pro playing, do you think you'll cast for after that? I've always kind of thought of it as something I could fall back on, which is really nice because you can't play forever, not at a very high competitive level. But also, I wouldn't mind doing it mixed in with my gameplay. Nothing as serious as NASL, which was a 9 to 5, 6 days a week. I think that would take away from my true passion, which is playing. But, a tournament here and there, a show match, that kind of stuff, I love doing it. I just love everything StarCraft, so I wouldn't mind it, yeah. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us, Geoff. I know you need your time to relax as well, but is there any shout-outs or thank yous you want to give before we sign off? Just, Kingston for doing such an awesome job with this coverage. You guys doing a great job, and all their fine sponsors, Intel, Monster, SteelSeries, Beyond Gaming, and my team. Really proud of their performance this weekend. We didn't take home the win, but we came pretty close, and I'm happy with that. I personally would like to echo that thanks to Kingston HyperX for allowing me to sit down with players like Geoff and get the inside scoop. And thanks to you, Geoff, for hanging out.